The United Kingdom has left the European Union. If you hadn't heard about it before, you surely have now. Brexit has led to an area of problems for both British and European businesses when importing and exporting goods between the European Union and the United Kingdom. For instance, some of the problems we've seen have been long lorry lines at British and French borders, causing goods to be delayed or no longer consumable. While these long border lines have caused great hardship to these businesses, people still don't really know what exactly is causing this holdback on lorry drivers delaying their goods. What are some of the issues facing consignors, freight forwarders, carriers, and consignees when exporting goods from the EU to the UK? We here at EMO-LOG specialize in consignments to and from Germany and the United Kingdom. We want to assist you in understanding what it takes for us freight forwarders in getting your goods to the UK in a swift manner despite Brexit. So without further ado, let's start by looking at what Brexit actually means. Brexit is the word used to describe the United Kingdom withdrawing from the European Union, consisting of the two words Britain and exit. Brexit took place for various political and economic reasons. After the UK's citizens voted to leave the EU in 2016, the EU and UK went into years of negotiations on the terms of Brexit. Finally, in December of 2020, an agreement was reached with the so-called EU-UK Trade and Cooperation Agreement. Many of you have certainly heard of it through its vast amount of media coverage. The EU-UK Trade and Cooperation Agreement is a complex trade agreement settling many of the economic disputes between the EU and the UK. It contains over 1,500 pages of extremely comprehensive legal jargon. Because of this new trade agreement, in which the UK has become a de facto third country to the EU, it has led to many new business procedures that businesses importing and exporting goods from the UK and EU must cope with. These new business procedures have been especially challenging for companies working in the logistics and transportation sector. As freight forwarders serve to provide a smooth transport of goods between businesses and their customers, the amount of new regulations have strained consignors, forwarders, and consignees. As a result, the German Federal Statistical Office reported that in February 2021, exports from the EU to the UK dropped by a staggering 30% in comparison to the year prior. This drop in exports can be mainly attributed to the large amount of new custom and border regulations set by both regulators of the European Union and the United Kingdom, which includes numerous new processes needed to be followed by consignors, consignees, and freight forwarders. In addition, forwarders and carriers are also required to carry additional transport-related accompanying documents. More on that though later on in this video. Because we here at EMO-LOG understand the complexity of these new requirements, we want to assist you in learning more about these new shipping requisites. Through an animated example, we will go ahead and demonstrate to you how goods are transported from the EU to the UK. So, without further ado, let's see what it takes to get a consignment from Germany to the United Kingdom. We start our journey to the UK with our friend Daniel in Cologne, Germany. Daniel is an owner of a small store in Cologne's Old Town. Daniel's store is especially known for its unique bags, with its designs of popular global sightseeing attractions. It is a must-get item for any tourist visiting Cologne. However, while Daniel sells his bags in his store in Cologne, both the bag and the design are produced in China. Harry, an old university friend of Daniel, lives in London, England. During his last visit in Cologne, he also took notice of the cool new bags Daniel was offering. Harry was so impressed with Daniel's new bags that he also wanted to offer them in his newly opened store in London. So, Harry went ahead and ordered 2 pallets full of different types of bags from Daniel. Originally, the process of shipping these bags would be mostly easy given that the UK was part of the European Union, meaning there would be no additional taxes, customs, etc. However, now that the UK has left the EU, this is no longer quite the same, involving a new stringent process that consignors, consignees, and freight forwarders need to follow. Let's look at how this is handled. Firstly, Harry needs a forwarder to help assist him ship his consignment from Daniel's store in Cologne to Harry's new store in London. Harry reaches out to us here at EMO-LOG and asks if we would be able to assist him with this consignment from the EU to the UK. Since we here at EMO-LOG are experienced with exporting goods worldwide, we are more than happy to assist Harry. Harry therefore gives us his consent for us to legally represent him in declaring his consignment with EU and UK customs. This process is also called power of attorney. Now that we are Harry's legal representative to UK and EU customs, Harry and Daniel need to figure out who will be covering what costs and liabilities of the consignment. Formally, this is also known as negotiating the Incoterms. the internationally recognized contractual terms of a shipment. Specifically, they determine the legal ramifications, such as the shipment costs, who covers shipment insurance, and at what time and place the consignment is to be picked up. Harry and Daniel agreed to set their Incoterms at FCA, or better known as free carrier. With these Incoterms, Harry, as the importer, would incur all shipping costs and liabilities once the consignment is picked up by one of our EMO-LOG drivers from Daniel's store in Cologne. Now that the Incoterms are set, both Harry and Daniel need to apply for a so-called EORI number, or better pronounced as EORI number. EORI stands for Economic Operator and Registration Identification. The EORI number is basically an identification number which all businesses importing and exporting in the EU and UK are required to have by both British and European custom authorities. Daniel goes ahead and registers for his EORI number with the European Union's Taxation and Customs Union, while Harry registers with HMRC, or better known as Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, the British Customs Authority. Now that both Daniel and Harry have received their appropriate EORIs, Harry needs to select the method in which he wishes to declare his goods upon arrival in the UK. HMRC offers here two alternatives in declaring goods. The first alternative is that Harry can go ahead and declare his goods completely with HMRC. The second option is that Harry decides to use the so-called CFSP declaration method, or better known as the Customs Freight Simplified Procedure. Without going into too much detail, the CFSP allows Harry to postpone his declarations up to 6 months after entry into the UK. Moreover, it means that Harry does not need to pay his customs duties within this 6-month grace period. It basically allows Harry to get his goods into the UK in an expedited fashion. However, in order to qualify for the CFSP declaration method, there are certain criteria that have to be met prior. Because Harry doesn't want to go through the hassle of meeting the extra criteria for CFSP, Harry decides to fully declare his goods upon arrival in the UK. As the next step in the process, Harry, in collaboration with Daniel, needs to create a detailed commercial invoice. This detailed commercial invoice sets the basis for all other required documents that may be needed. This may include documents such as licenses or permits of certain goods that Customs and Borders authorities may require. Of course, we here at EMO-LOG are also happy to provide Harry and Daniel with assistance in creating an accurate commercial invoice to ensure it includes the correct information when declaring customs. After Harry and Daniel create the appropriate commercial invoice, the total invoice surmounts to €1,600. This includes the most important information regarding the consignment. In a brief overview below, we have listed the most important criteria to be included. Go ahead and pause the video if you'd like. Now that we here at EMO-LOG have received all relevant information from Harry and Daniel, we can start organizing our transport of Harry's consignment to London. Since we have all relevant information for Harry's consignment, we as the freight forwarder will take the information and complete a so-called export registration with the EU Customs Authority. Once this is completed and EU exit customs clear Harry's consignment, we will be given a required export accompanying document, which includes a so-called movement reference number, or better known as MRN. In the following step, we will then pre-declare Harry's consignment with British Customs, HMRC. This involves a two-step process. The first step is that the consignment is pre-declared to HMRC. HMRC will then give us a so-called UCR number, or Unique Consignment Reference number. In the second step, the consignment will also be registered with the UK border authorities, known as GVMS, or Good Vehicle Movement Service. This helps make the crossing process to the UK faster, as the consignment will be pre-registered with the border authorities, allowing for a quicker entry into the UK. GVMS will also assign a Goods Movement Reference Number, or GMR for short, which is a linked number to the UCR number. The GMR number eases the crossing process by letting the lorry driver only need to show one barcode linked to his UCR when passing through border facilities of the EU and the UK. Now, while all of this administrative side of Harry's consignment is being taken care of by us, Harry's consignment is meanwhile being picked up at Daniel's store in Cologne by one of our company's drivers. It is then brought into our transshipment warehouse in Cologne, where it is then bundled with other consignments that are bound for the UK. Generally speaking, there are several different ways to transport goods from the EU to the UK. In most cases though, consignments are shipped from Calais in north of France to Dover in southern England via the English Channel by either train through the Eurotunnel or via ferry. Because consignments transported via ferry are less expensive, Harry decides to import his consignment via ferry. We then go ahead and reserve a spot with one of the large carrier vessels such as PO Ferries or DFDS. These carrier vessels travel more than 20 times daily back and forth between Calais and Dover. After a reservation is booked and we have processed all relevant consignment information mentioned previously, a final check is conducted to ensure that the driver has all required documents for his journey from Cologne to London. The most important documents include the following: a valid driver's license, proof of insurance, the proper transport documents such as a CMR consignment note, a commercial invoice with HS code, including the EORI number, and the export accompanying documents. Furthermore, the driver needs a transport permit, the MRN and GMR number, and a valid passport starting October 2021, although the European ID is still valid until October of 2021. Now that we have all required documents and information needed to cross into the UK, we can now start a journey from Cologne to London. We will be planning our lorry driver's journey so that he will arrive approximately 2 hours prior to the ferry's departure at the port of Calais in France. This will allow the driver to have ample time to pass through border security procedures and resolve any document-related issues that may arise. The drive from Cologne to Calais tends to be about 7 hours, given the lorry speed. Once the driver arrives in Calais, he drives through the exit customs inspections from the EU, where the driver will present his MRN and his export accompanying documents. Once he passes these EU exit customs and prior to boarding the ferry, the driver will also scan his GMR number with barcode. Subsequently, the driver can board the ferry. The ferry journey from Calais to Dover takes about an hour and 30 minutes. This finally gives the driver a moment to relax, as he's already been on a 9-hour shift, from which 7 were on the road. Once the ferry arrives in Dover, the driver will depart the ferry and the driver will pass through UK border security and customs. Here, customs may conduct random inspections. However, not in our case today, and we'll be able to start our journey to London. We arrive at Harry's store in London after a 125-kilometer journey from Dover, taking us just about 2 hours. Harry's consignment, consisting of 2 pallets of bags, is then unloaded. Harry is extremely excited that he finally received his bags and can't wait to put them on display in his new store. This concludes our journey. We hope you enjoyed this video and hope that you were able to learn something new. If you have any other questions regarding our services from Germany to the UK, please feel free to reach out to us or visit our website at www.emolog.de. Thank you.